Hey y'all, and welcome back to another video of My Creative Life with Kelssweetie, where we read books and we make art. And during a certain time of year, we start Halloween decor hunting. Today, we are going over a pretty large Halloween haul. I meant to do a haul many times. The setup for many different things came before, and now I'm stuck with quite a few things to haul for y'all from basically the last, I want to say, month and a little bit of change. So today is going to be a little bit of a longer haul. I know for some of y'all that doesn't matter, especially because today's haul is a mixture of things that I've gotten from Marshalls, from HomeGoods, as well as thrifted and eBay. Y'all know that I love my secondhand vintage goods. You may see behind me that I got some boxes. And I said that I wouldn't get any more boxes, but it was also a really good price. And now I really am in jail on that. Like, I cannot buy any more boxes for my trick-or-treat area whatsoever. I am good. I do not need not one more. I also have some things from Dollar Tree. Not the sign I've been looking for, but some other things, as well as Michael's. Oh, and I have some things from Etsy. So today is going to be a large haul. Prepare yourself, get your drink ready, have this in the background for a body double, because it's going to be a bit of a long one, but I am really excited to show y'all what I have. I really do love these things. Am I kind of starting to wean down on decor hunting? Yes, but I do want to fit in some more thrift trips. I know that I have a beginner's guide to thrifting that I've already started filming, but I want to take a couple more trips out. I am still looking for this daggone Frankenstein head, the concrete one that everybody has seen, but it doesn't seem like it's never at any of my home goods for some reason. I really wanted that Dollar Tree sign, but in all honesty, I did splurge on a cracker junk Halloween sign, one of those. I'm gonna put probably a picture here or something. Those famous ones that like everybody gets that are hand painted. I did splurge on one of those. So to be honest, although it's a Dollar Tree sign and it's really not going to put a dent in anything, I wouldn't even know where to put it, to be honest. So I don't know. I think that I'm kind of weaning down on possibly going out and finding that because I just don't need it regardless of the price. Maybe a couple more trips to Michael's because they're lenticular, smaller frames I could see in my Haunted Mansion area. And I need a crystal ball. Other than that, I'm lying. There's plenty of other things that are on my hunt list. But I am trying to wean down. Let's get into the haul. This is a long enough intro. So, as I stated in the intro, this haul is going to be all over the place. Y'all know that I love shopping secondhand as well as going to some of these big box stores. So there is a mixture of both in today's haul. And y'all know I love a sale. So I'm happy to say that a majority, not all, because we all know HomeGoods and Marshalls never does sales, but a majority of these things I did get on sale. Let's start with Michael's because the first thing that I got from Michael's was a deal, but it's not really Halloween-y. Like, let's just get that out the way. So in many of my videos, I have said many times that setting your scene is the most important thing in creating something that's more like a vignette sort of decor area. Last year when I did my practical magic area, I really focused on having a lot of foliage and everything, and that's why I gave more of a set design feel than just a decor feel. I love that, and I try to put that in a lot of my different areas, and I keep on raising the bar by really going to all of my themes with that type of idea. Now, the way that I get a lot of that foliage, because it costs money I don't have, is by shopping during the spring sale for Michael's, really. They start to drop it to 70, and for these, I got them, I want to say 80% off. I don't know, don't check me on that, but I do know that what I have here, I got for only $6 a piece, and they usually go for 20 and 30 bucks a piece, which is why, okay, I got a bunch of binds. I know that this may seem like, Kelsey, that's not Halloween decor, why is that in here? Okay. And when I start decorating for my Gothic and my Haunted Mansion area, I don't want anybody saying, oh my God, that really set the scene. It's like you're almost really in the Haunted Mansion. You want to know why? It's because foliage, people. Foliage is what really does it. And this is the good foliage. Like those wreaths and everything that are made out of the real stuff. I forget what they call the real, the lifelike tech or whatever for those vines and garlands that cost a ton of money. These were 9. The other one I'm going to show you is 6. This is perfect. Haunted Mansion takes place in New Orleans, and I've been looking for some very viney, humid weather type of foliage to put to hang from each of my shelves that'll be in my kitchen. I was kind of hitting a bit of a dead end, to be honest, and then these went on sale. They were originally $30. I got them for $9 a piece. That's insane. Because if you look at how much, like this isn't scrawny. And what I also love is that you could fold it on top of one another and you get even more. So that was a huge deal for me. I got 2 of them because it was just too big of a deal for me to pass up in any capacity. Now they do kind of want to tangle on top of one another, but if you shake it out, it'll do it. I can't believe that I got them for the amount I got them for. I couldn't tell you. There may be some left at Michael's right now. I know we're really far kind of into the season from their spring things, but if you go in their clearance corner, they probably will still have some of these spring items and like spring garlands, because the one that I went to, and this is another tip, go to a Michael's that's like in the cut. The Michael's that I found these at was at kind of in a shopping center that not a lot of people go to, and I think that's the only reason they still had these really great foliage items still there, because I also found this. So these were originally $19.99. I got them for $6. Like I said, they wanna lean on top of each other, and I don't want to take them apart too much. Now these are a little bit, just slightly more sparse than the ones I just showed you. But what I love about these, if you notice, they're kind of a teal, bluish, ashy color, which I think leans much further into the Haunted Mansion color palette that I'll be going for, as opposed to the vines that I just showed you that had a yellower tint underneath them, which is still fine. I mean, we're still talking about green here. Yellow is a part of the color palette, but these had a bit of an aged blue tint into them. If you're not an artist, you're probably just thinking, Kelsey, that's just a light green. I get it. I understand. But I do feel like this is going to fit better for that swampy type of feel, that New Orleans swamp feel that I'm going for. They call this mini ficus. I forget what they call the other one. I think the other one was eucalyptus. But I got 2 of these as well. And I think that both of these are going to go really great in my Haunted Mansion area. I do have some leftover garland from last year as well. I don't know what box it'll be in, but in one of these collection videos where I'm going through my boxes slowly, I'll probably find them. And depending on what it looks like, it may end up going in my Gothic area that's going to my living room, because I do want to set more of a scene for that space instead of just kind of throwing whatever I have there, because I feel like that space always gets forgotten. So I know it's not very Halloween. It's a slow start. I just had to show you guys that I had that, because I know when I go to decorate, I'm probably going to get a lot of people going, that was so much money that you spent on foliage. No, y'all, I cannot tell you enough. And I'm telling you now so that you can find some of those things on clearance right now. Buy your foliage to set your scenes in, like, for off of the spring lines that are on clearance. You do not need to buy the ones that are Halloween. One, you can even take, like the one I just showed you, and spray paint it or dye it. I've seen people take the RIT dye and fill up a bucket and dye them that way if they're like the more real feeling type of garlands. If it's more plasticky, you probably will get away with spray painting it, and that'll darken it a little bit. Don't do like maybe a full black or anything. But clearances are your best friend, and adding foliage is going to set the tone, because I've heard people go, I threw my stuff up there, but it just doesn't feel like it's a vignette or like it's set design. And it's because you have to add things like foliage and that are outside of the Halloween decor type of idea in order to kind of set that scene. Okay, here's some actual Halloween stuff I got from Michael's. First off, I got the witch finger candles that everybody has been losing their minds about. My Michael's was really starting to put out some of their candles and everything, and it took everything in me not to go crazy and buy a bunch of those spine candles and some of the dripping candles for my Gothic area. I was luckily with my partner, and he was like, one, you have some vouchers coming up from being a part of the Michael's Rewards program. Don't sit here and spend money on candles when I feel like the candles aren't going to be the main thing that go. However, and I pointed these out to him, he goes, I think those are different. They're real special. Buy those. Buy those with the coupon that you had, because they were currently full price. And I think I had a 20% off coupon, something small, but it was something. He was like, I think that those will go. The spine candles, I think, are going to be here. He was like, if they're not, you can get mad at me, but I think that they're going to be here. He was probably correct. I still need to go to Michael's. I plan to today. But these finger candles, I've been seeing everywhere. Everybody's been talking about them, and for good reason. They really do give that vintage green party favor type of feel, and they look like they're hand painted, like that very vintage, popular vintage hand painted candle look for Halloween. And so I'm really glad that I got them. Now, here's the question: what are these gonna go inside of? I couldn't tell you, but they'll be great for my trick or treat area. I will be honest with you, I did pick these up. I didn't follow my own rules and the idea of like, where exactly will you put it? I know it'll go in my trick or treat area, but past that, I don't know if they're gonna actually go in a candlestick holder. Honestly, I could see these just going inside of a bucket and just looking cool. I've seen a lot of great candlestick holders this year, honestly, coming out of Pottery Barn and places like that in West Elm, but they're asking far too much money for them. So we will either craft something, or they will just be on their own, or I know I probably have some candlestick holders somewhere, or I can thrift them. I don't know. There's many different ways I can go about this, but I do know that these looked way too cool to pass up. So I definitely got these. Something else that I got was something that I had my eye on ever since I did my Michael's walkthrough when I went online, when they first dropped everything that they were going to be releasing this year, which I've noticed they've been releasing some things in store that we did not see online. Those candles that I just showed you being one of them. So if you have not gone to your Michael's, you were like online when they first dropped and you were like, I don't really see anything that I like, I still recommend you maybe walk into your Michael's, which I think they did on purpose, just so that you can see whether or not there really is anything that you do not want. Because some of the things that I think have been really interesting were things that they didn't even release online. I don't know why. I want to blame this on the tariffs, as we've been blaming the tariffs for everything. Who knows? But one thing that I did see while a part of their Dead Regency collection that I was like, this is going to be perfect for my Haunted Mansion area, was the lenticular painting of the Regency woman. I know. Now, did I get her mate? No. He didn't give Mr. Gracie to me. He also looked too pretty. It looked really good. I think his looked also really airbrushed. Like there's a real lightness to his that hers doesn't have. So regardless, I knew also from the beginning I wanted to pick her up. Now, she's originally $30. A little pricey for something that's a lenticular, and to be honest with you, Dollar Tree right now is selling one similar, and that one lights up. I didn't get that one because I like this one better, and I'd seen it firsthand. I also had a 40% off coupon and a voucher, so I think that I got this for what it probably should be priced at, which was around $12-15, instead of having it at the $30 that they already have it at. I could have waited, until maybe end of the middle of August or so, when almost all of the Halloween stuff is 40% off. But I also didn't know if this was going to be a hot item this year, because I've seen a lot of people talking about it. I also didn't feel like it looked too cheap. Sometimes these lenticulars look cheap in person. I didn't think so. I say that saying that I've now seen the smaller frame sizes that they also have, and I want to pick up some of those. They're already online on sale. I don't know if they're on sale in person for I think for $3 or $4, which is really affordable. Some of them are wild. Like the parents, I don't know how they got that approved. The whole beheading the kids thing. I'm all for it. It's very scary. But I'm very surprised that they actually released that one at all. But they have some other ones that I think would be perfect for my Haunted Mansion area. And even a vampire one that I want for my Gothic area. So if you see that in a haul, here's that sneak peek for that. Next thing I got was also, I think it was 40% off or so, and that was because it was a part of their Blush Romance line that they dropped real early in the summer for their dark kind of summer line. It was for these keys. It's for the keys. Now, out of the context of the Haunted Mansion, I don't know why you would need these keys. That's why there are so many left, I feel like, because why would we need keys? I don't really know the context of having the keys. These also these were originally $14.99, which is just pricey. They are heavy though. I will say they've got some heft, as you can maybe hear from me shaking them. But I thought these were very perfect for Haunted Mansion for obvious reasons. And again, they had that greenish blue undertone tint to the keys that are really perfect for the color palette for the Haunted Mansion. So I got these. They were 40% off. I want to say they might have even been more than that, to be honest. But it was something, there was some sale going on. I did not pay full price whatsoever for these keys. I know that for a fact. I'm going to go back and forth between the big box stores and thrifting and eBay and all of that, and small businesses, just because I think that it's good to have a good mix in between. So we're going to move into my eBay purchases. First off, I'm very excited about this. Now, out of context, it may seem like, okay, that's whatever, but picture the crystal ball on top of this. I know. It won perfect. It's been patinaed perfectly. It is actually metal, which I really do love. You guys know that if I'm getting something metal, I don't want it to be plastic. I really kind of want the real stuff, because then, well, it doesn't look fake because it isn't fake. This was sold for a really, really great price. I'm not sure why, because these crystal ball holders cost a lot of money. I don't like it. That, or what I've noticed is that the ones that are like, that seems affordable, like they're in the $30 range, they're minuscule. They're like this small. Like they're no Leota head is fitting in that at all. So I was surprised to see this. It was the perfect color. Again, it's that greenish kind of tint, that's bluish tint that is perfect for my Haunted Mansion palette. And it has these little cherubs on the side of it, which again felt very New Orleans Gothic type of cathedral type of thing, which again, I just felt like it was absolutely perfect. This again was $30. It was 30. I was crossing my fingers because they luckily had the measurements. They don't have the measurements sometimes, so you have to look at the pictures. I'm so happy that it is this size. Now, here's the next hurdle. I have to get a crystal ball for it. And if you thought that the crystal ball holder was expensive, the crystal ball is expensive. Let me tell you something. After investing in this crystal ball, because really this is the piece, because you can't have a Haunted Mansion without a crystal ball. You can't have a Haunted Mansion, you can't have Madame Leota without a crystal ball. So I'm investing in this because it really is the crux for the entire Haunted Mansion idea, to be completely honest with you. I'm going to learn how to read a crystal ball. We're going to have some party tricks happening, because I've looked up how much crystal balls cost, and it is expensive. So to be honest with you, I don't think that I'm probably going to get a glass ball. I'm going to probably go on Amazon and get a glass ball to be able to fit this, because looking on Etsy and looking at other spaces, they're asking for $100, and I just can't do it. It won't happen. It won't be coming from me. So that is the next hurdle. I probably won't do a haul with that crystal ball, because it really will be until the final hour where I'm about to decorate that I really purchase it, because I can't be bothered right now. Let's just still be happy that I found this. The next thing on this list is something it's tiny. I was expecting it to be larger. Again, this is the proof of just, you hope that things are bigger than what they are. When they don't, you have to go, didn't win that one. Really, this is the thing with eBay. Every now and then, if it doesn't have the measurements, the picture can be misleading, and every now and then you get burned. It's not enough for me to stop hunting on eBay, but she's so tiny. She's gorgeous. Don't get me wrong, it's gorgeous, but it's filigree, and the back is wonderful. You may be going, Kelsey, what is that? This is a hand mirror. It's for my Gothic area. So one night I had a stroke of genius, and I went, I have plenty of vampire and werewolf and mummy and all these different things, headless horseman things for my Gothic area that are like iconography. But again, we want to build a scene. And so I was like, do I have any vampire hunter material? Any werewolf hunting material? No, I didn't. So that's when I got on eBay and I started looking up things like, okay, well, I'm gonna craft a stake. And, oh, you need silver. So, like little ball bearings. I'm going to be buying ball bearings to put in like one of my jars because also bullets did not look like, domed bullets when vampires were out and about and Van Helsing was hunting them down. This is how my brain works, y'all. Then I thought, oh my gosh, vampires can't be in mirrors. So you have to carry around a mirror everywhere. Which in theory, this is the perfect size because if I was a vampire hunter, why would I want to carry around a huge mirror? I'm not upset. The price was still not like hugely, grossly like large for this, but it was a little bit more like, okay, that's going to be a good size. It has the maker's mark on it. Again, this looks gorgeous. Don't get me wrong. It'll fit in a lot of different other themes for years to come as well. It was a little large. It was a little small for what I thought it was going to be. It's going to work great in my space though. It's just a little tiny, but I love where I'm kind of going with that. And some of the newer items, again, I'm saving till the end of the month to purchase because I don't want to kind of crash out on buying all these newer things, especially since, like I said, I just dropped a good amount of money on the Cracker Junk sign. It hurt my heart, but I also know that I'm going to be so happy when it comes. I'm going to love it. I'm going to love it to death, and I'm probably going to have it out all year, to be honest, because something that great can't just be put away. But yeah, so got this off of eBay. Another item that I got off of eBay that fed into this whole gothic tale that I wanted to move down was this wonderful, it's been on my watch list forever, and I finally pulled the trigger on it. It was this wonderful belladonna jar. It's an apothecary jar, and it's real. It has like this cracked porcelain, which is just adorable. It has gold foiling, and it's pretty heavy. So honestly, this is larger than I was expecting. You see how that works? It always comes back to you on eBay. Either you get burned sometimes, but sometimes you get lucky. This, on the other hand, with belladonna, I first was going to put it in my Haunted Mansion area. That's a possibility because belladonna, if you've ever seen Practical Magic, was used not only for a sleeping agent, but as a poison. So I'm either going to put it in my Haunted Mansion area to build on the story of Constance Hatchaway and the whole thing of the Haunted Mansion, or it'll go in my Gothic area, which I could see it in because belladonna is also used for like werewolf stories and everything to kind of keep werewolves at bay. I don't know, but I love that I can put it in either place. As I've learned from past areas and decorating, if I have something that I've bought for one singular place, and it's something huge, sometimes I have far too many things in that area and I feel forced to place it in there because it's not going to go anywhere else and I would have felt like I wasted it. The next thing that I got off of eBay kind of wasn't really a vintage thing. It was a small business sort of thing. And this is another thing with eBay is that while it's made for a place to resell and be like the biggest garage sale ever, some people do use it as kind of an Etsy sort of space. And I've been having my eye on these for probably the past 3-4 years, to be completely honest with you. I saw these in one Crafty Witch video, which she doesn't put out any new videos now, but it's kind of like the Tim Holtz video that I'm always talking about regarding inspiration for my own collection. She has a full collection, tons of collection videos out for vintage Halloween people, so you can go check that out if you're looking for any inspiration for something you want to collect or how you want your space to look. She would have these vintage folk art type of candies, but they're made out of fiber and then sewn together and painted. And then kind of a Mod Podge is used to put the labels of different candies on them. And then they're scented with the cinnamon. So very folk art type of thing. I really, really love these to put in my candy heads and for my trick-or-treat area this year especially. Like this is a Milky Way bar. These are just really adorable but they're vintage, like they're aged up. I don't want real candy. And from far away, these will look just fine. This is like a sugar daddy sucker as well. I know I could have made these myself. Positive of it. Here's the thing. I said that the last 2 years that I was going to make these myself. I have so many other crafts in mind that sometimes you just got to bite the bullet and go, you already know what you're doing. Do I want to craft this or do I want to craft something else? And I decided to craft something else. After 2 years of saying, I'll make it, I've decided, you know what? I'm just going to give them their money. But finally, I was just like, I've had this in my watch list and I put it in my cart. I take it out the cart. After 2 years of doing that, you have to go, you want the thing, just get the thing. That's one of those things that you know that you want. Just do it already. There's even like a silvery one for a Three Musketeers bar. And again, these don't at all look perfect. They are for people who are going for that vintage folk art type of look. I also have like Halloween statues that have like candy bowl heads. And I've seen these inside of them, and it looks so good. You never have to worry about them looking too aged. Like, you can use them for years. I remember when I saw them in one Crafty Witches video, she was like, I've had these for who knows how long, because they never get old, basically. I mean, the cinnamon probably dies down, but that's it. And for the most part, you're not really buying it for that. The last things that I got from eBay were vintage boxes. I know. I said I was not going to buy any more vintage containers because I have far too many. Honestly, I can't even be mad because I bought all of them basically on a really good sale or from an estate sale or wherever. So I'm not mad. It's just at some point you have to say, Kelsey, that's enough. And I think it's enough. Now, they're beat up. That doesn't bother me. I have a vintage folk art type of space that I'm building out, so that doesn't bother me. Here's the thing, and here's the reason why I went, I'm going to get those. I got all 3 of these for $15. Now, I mentioned this, I think, in another video. I don't know what it is with the vintage candy boxes, if everybody started realizing that you could use those as platforms or what, but they've gone up hugely on the price. For one of these, that's $30 alone. And we're not talking about the shipping fee. So when I saw all 3 of these for $15 and I was looking at the pictures, and yes, I'm not saying that these are perfect mint condition shape. These are arguably probably the most beat up out of all of my candy boxes and everything, but still completely recognizable. It's only on certain corners and everything, so I can do with it. It was also the fact that these are recognizable names. So a Butterfinger box, I don't know if you've ever looked up on eBay how much a Butterfinger box, let alone a Halloween Butterfinger box, goes for. They're looking for $50 for one box. I'm not doing that. Y'all are crazy. I'm not doing that. So I did break down and I bought them because that was just too good to pass up. And they literally just came in today and I'm happy with them. The Butterfinger box, best condition ever. Love it. Love the size. I love a Butterfinger. Personally, I'm a Butterfinger fan, so I'm happy to have it here. I think now I have basically all of the Mars type of like candy bar top. I have Three Musketeers. I basically have them all. You know what I would love? A Zagnut bar box, but I know for good and well, those sell for like $100 and more because of Beetlejuice. And that's the reason why I'd want a Zagnut bar one. But other than that, I think I've gotten basically all of the main characters of all the candy bars. So I need to stop. It's over. Quote me on that, please. But I got this great Butterfinger box. Then there's this Snicker box, which I really do love because it's got that orange, which will look great with all my trick-or-treat Halloween stuff. Now, that's where it looks a little risky right there at the top. But other than that, the entire rest of the box is in mint condition. So, and you never see the top of the box. So I'm not upset with that. And if you're wondering, Kelsey, those are in really tough shape. How do you place stuff on top of them? Oh, I'm so glad that you asked. I put something harder inside of them. Sometimes this year it'll probably be some of the books that I've DNF'd and I know that I'm going to unhaul at the top of the year. I'll put that inside of it and that'll kind of keep it so that the top doesn't go in on itself. Sometimes it'll be maybe some other notebooks that I have lying around that I hardly ever pick up. I just put things in there that I know are sturdy and that I'm not using for the Halloween season or right now. I could even put like some of the Christmas VHS that I have that aren't going to be out, or the normal VHS that I have that aren't going to be out for my decor reasons. I'll put those in there because I know once Halloween decor comes down and the Christmas starts to go up, I can take those out. Like, you know, but that's why the shape of the box really doesn't bother me too much because I know how to kind of work it so that I don't ruin the box. And then I even have this Baby Ruth bar. This is probably the one that's in the worst shape, to be honest, because it's large. And I think that's the reason why it wasn't more. This one definitely is kind of falling apart a bit. I got all 3 of those for $15. You can't beat that. Okay, let's keep it moving. The next bit of things that we are going to cover are my home goods items. First and foremost, I got this palmistry hand. It was $15 And yes, I left it at HomeGoods at first. I went, if it's there when I come back the next time, I'll pick it up. It was there because I spent some time away from it. And I realized it would be perfect for my Haunted Mansion area because, of course, with Madam, you see it. You see where I was going with this. I also, what I loved about this is that it wasn't giving very mystical. I feel like a lot of the Victorian things that have to do with like mystical arts and a lot of those things look very matter of fact. Like if you weren't looking, you'd miss it. Not like some of the things today that have a ton of stars on them and all these other things. Not saying that there won't be things that have those things on it in this area. I'm just saying that it felt more dark academia. And that's what I liked about this, is that it was very much just a hand and it had all of the measurements and stuff. It was very clinical. And so I picked it up. Yes, it was 15 bucks. I bought this one recently, for sure. The next thing that I got is something that will definitely be out all year because her match is out all year once I finished burning him. And that is this wonderful Bride of Frankenstein from Martha Stewart. Martha Stewart has been hitting it. She always does, but this year it feels like everything that I've seen anybody go, that looks amazing, or it feels vintage Halloween or hand painted, is from Martha Stewart. She's keeping it alive, y'all. Shout out to her in many different ways. But I really love this. I've seen many other head canisters this year, and they don't look as great as this one does. Like, there's the witch one that I've seen that doesn't have the shiniest on it. I don't think it's Martha Stewart. She's all right. But then I've also seen the vampire and the other Frankenstein, not the shiny one that's from Martha Stewart, but from some other place. And I'm not a huge enough fan of them. But when I saw this, I thought she was so cute. She's going to go perfect with the canister that I have out now all year round on my bookshelf. And I loved the Frankenstein one. The smell is like green apples. And it's really fresh. And I burned it nonstop. A couple of years ago while I would work, I have been really trying my best not to burn this one and waiting until it is the time of year for me to really start burning this down because I know that it will be nonstop that I'll be burning her. But I was really excited to pick her up. Speaking of Martha Stewart really killing it, the candles, the figure candles this year. I saw these by chance. My partner saw them. I immediately threw them in the cart. Immediately. Because they looked like the vintage hand-painted candles. It's like what I was talking about regarding the witch fingers from Michael's. There was just a very nice hand-painted quality. It wasn't all like banged up. You get to near the end of the season and not even near the end of the season, I've seen these candles out and about like maybe once or twice before and plenty of other candles, and they are just snapped in half from being in transit. So I picked these up immediately because they were still in very good condition. They hadn't been banged up. They weren't broken or anything like that. And so I immediately picked them up. How much were they? Probably 12. Yep, $12.99. They're $12.99. I was so happy to pick these up, and I'm really excited to put these out. Again, am I running into the same situation as maybe the witch fingers? Yes, but I do have some other figure candles, and I like just kind of placing them into certain things, so I don't feel too stressed because I'm not going to burn them at all. So if anything, they are figures. The next thing from HomeGoods, I got this actually just recently, and it was from Moonlight Manor, the same wonderful people who made those creepy candles that are behind me. This was 15 bucks, which I was surprised because of the size. They have much larger ones, but I felt like this was the best size for me just using it in many different places. If you get something too big, next thing you know, it's like all I can use that for is a planner, and I don't want to use it for that. And then the next size down from this was like far too small in my opinion. And also the price was still like, I think it was like $12.99. And I was like, I might as well just get $14.99, and this feels like a larger deal. I don't know, but they have these in many different styles and paints and all of that, but I really love this rough enamel, black enamel, iron type of thing going on because it, of course, feels a lot more vintage and folk and real. But I thought this was so cute. I think it might be going on my coffee table, to be honest, but this, and then, if I put some different things inside of it, I could place some of those witch fingers in here. That would be cool. We're brainstorming. You guys see where I'm going. So this was something I just picked up literally the other day. This one may seem a little strange that I got, and to be honest, it was a last minute decision on getting it in the first place. I'm not gonna lie to you, it is a little light, and I do feel like it's a possibility of it getting broken. I don't know. Some things you just don't know. It was this mummy pumpkin guy. I thought he was really cute. I kept kind of going back and forth on, do I like him? Do I not like him? He's got this vintage look to him, and I don't have enough mummy things. I am somebody who right now is really focused on, especially for my gothic area, but this of course will be going to my trick-or-treat area, looking for werewolf things, mummy things, even creature things, something that's not vampire specific, because we have so much vampire stuff that I really did like this. It hadn't had an aged paint to it, and he was really simple and like kind of messy in his painting. And again, I thought that he went with a lot of my other things. The next item I got was a last minute decision, but I've been kind of thinking about this lately, especially with my gothic area and having my haunted mansion area. And I was picking up more crows. I love these. These are from the Spooky Night collection at HomeGoods. They have gone up in price. They're now $14.99. I remember when I picked up my first set of these crows, they were probably $12.99. So, of course, as per usual, everything's going up in price. But I have a pair of these, and they're my favorite. One, they have really good, I know that you can get crows from At Home and all these other places now, but I love how these look specifically. They have a really good mold on them. They also, I've seen in other years, now it depends on which one you get, because I've seen some of them be a little gray, but these were a really good one. They only had a little bit of purple on their wings, and then they were pitch black everywhere else. Of course, even if they were the gray ones, you could pick those up and still spray paint them completely black and do a dry brush on them. For the price and the quality of these, they really are something that I would say is like a must-have pickup. So when I saw these, I picked them up immediately because I only have 2 of them right now. And I know that I kind of want something in my gothic area. There's a possibility that I may want 1 or 2 in my haunted mansion area. So I ended up picking up these. They were kind of just like, oh, I could see myself picking up plenty of these over the years. 1, for the price, and because I know that they're like a really good mold that I'll use, because every time that I've placed them anywhere, like I used them in my Practical Magic area last year, and they really looked great because they look so real. They're like a really, really great mold on them, in my opinion. The last item from HomeGoods is one that I know maybe seems a little strange for what I usually get, and that's because I'm going to take on a project in changing her a bit. This witch. I know. I have said many times that I'm just not a fan of ugly witches because of the history of witches, because of where the ugly witch trope came from. I loved everything about this witch, except for the fact that she had this witch nose. In all honesty, without the witch nose that they put her on, she's a really pretty, like, cute witch, and even very vintage looking. So I want to kind of age her up a little bit. And since I will be painting her anyways, maybe bringing down some of the cuteness factors. So this pastel purple won't be pastel purple. I'll make that probably another traditional color. I plan on taking my Dremel tool that I got last year to make tombstones. I don't use my Dremel enough, so we're going to break out the Dremel and shave down the nose and then resculpt it so that it's just a regular nose, and then it'll be perfectly fine, and then we'll paint her. Now, what did I find out? That she had a what is it supposed to be here? Like a unicorn horn sucker that's supposed to be in her hand. I didn't find that out because I'd never seen her anywhere, online or otherwise. And then I saw a picture, and apparently she's supposed to have that. Could I have gotten her for less money than $30? Absolutely. Because that was a good amount of change. It was a good chunk of change for this, considering I was going to craft it. But, you know, you live and you learn. To everyone out there, make sure that you are seeing if something's actually broken, because you can ask for money off. I always say that, and I didn't follow my own rules, unfortunately. The other thing that I loved is that she had this curly hair that looked a lot like my hair. So I'm going to repaint her as well. And I'm going to try and go for kind of making myself as a witch. We will see. It is a big assignment. It is a big undertaking, but I just thought that she looked cute. Just her nose, and then it would have been perfect. And I kept seeing her in the store and going, I love her, but the nose, I love her. And then I was like, I can fix that. I can fix her. So that is going to be one of the things that I end up crafting. As y'all know, I always do my first episode of crafting for the year, for the new Halloween season, is me repainting and redoing some of the items that I probably shop for during Halloween hunting season, and this will be in that kind of setup. Last year, I had also repainted a witch as well that was sitting on a moon, so this is just kind of adding on to that, making it a little tougher. Again, she was $30. It pains me to know that I probably could have gotten her for like probably 25. The next item of roundups that we're going to be doing are from Etsy and the thrift store. I figured there weren't enough things from Etsy for me to just do only one thing of that, and there weren't a lot of the thrift store items for me to only do one of that either. So I just decided to put them all together. Starting from Etsy, I got this from a shop, and I'll have all the Etsy shops linked down below. They are vintage labels. I do have like the link to the place. I just don't have it on the envelope on where it's from. They are vintage label. Now, did I think that they would probably come with some paste or something on the back of them? I did. And so part of me is a little bit like upset because I could have printed these myself. But you live and you learn. They are cute though. Yeah, I'll do a close-up of them. They are cute, and I do have some regular bottles that I'm going to Mod Podge these onto. And I think that they're good labels. Like, the labels themselves look very, like, once I put them on and I kind of beat it up a little bit, it's going to look fantastic. It's going to look wonderful. It'll fool anybody. But as somebody who is a graphic designer and an artist, there's sometimes where, like, I'll order stuff and I'll go, while this may be helpful for somebody who isn't that and isn't crafty like that and is really, like, helpful for that, for me, I don't necessarily feel like it was worth my money. I hate that though. I really do love like the ones that are here, and I got them for a reason for my Haunted Mansion area and even for my Gothic area, because I have some plain bottles that I could decorate for these type of areas, and these labels work perfectly for that. It's been in my to-do list to pick these up for a while, and again, they're great labels. I just feel like as an artist, I could have put that money towards something else on Etsy. So we're starting off there. I will still link them down below because I know that not everybody is a graphic designer and can find and source labels and all of that. But do know that they don't have anything sticky on the back of them. So you will have to use tape or a glue stick. I mean, they even put inside of the folder like what type of adhesive would work. I'm going to use Mod Podge because I have tons of Mod Podge just sitting around. So that'll work for mine. The next two items that I got were from a Vision and Vintage. I believe that they also have a YouTube as well. So I'm going to tag them down below. And I got these wonderful photos from them. One is of this werewolf type of Victorian werewolf situation. Of course, he will be in my Gothic area. I thought that it was just a really, really great edit. This one as well is of a headless man. This will, of course, be going in my Haunted Mansion area as Constance hatched away at many of her. It's not necessarily, it could be Mr. Gracie. This is more Mr. Gracie, but she had like many husbands. So I think that it'd be cool to kind of have that featured. And they were really great edits, in my opinion. So again, whereas the labels felt a bit more like, I could have sourced those and just printed them out on craft paper myself. This felt a bit more like I would have had to take a lot of time out to maybe do that, to edit these, especially the werewolf one. I feel like that one just looks really, really great, to be honest. Could I have just printed these out? Probably found them somewhere else online and printed them out? Sure. Is it a possibility that's what she did? Maybe. I'm still happy with these. So, you know. Finally, I also found, and this is another thing with Etsy, is that there's a lot of people who are selling vintage items and reselling on there as well. So it's kind of like eBay. They kind of get interchangeable. But I found for only $4 these vintage trick-or-treat treat bags. Yep, double the word, treat bags. That were a really great price for what they were. And they were actually vintage. And I thought they were really cute. They're from 1988. And I thought that maybe like stuffing a little bit of paper in them and having them around my little trick-or-treat area would be really cute. I thought that was my last item. This is my actual last item. It's this staff pick platform that is for my vintage VHS cassette area. Absolutely cannot recommend this seller enough. They spoke to me throughout the entire process, sent me actual mock-ups, got this to me immediately. It was extremely professional, probably the best experience I've ever had with a shop on Etsy, so I will link them down below if you are looking for something like this. They also 3D print plenty of other things if you're not looking for this specifically, but if you are a physical media collector, this would be something cool. I got them in whatever colors I wanted, and I felt like, yes, this was very much Halloween coded with the orange and yellow, but also I love these colors together, so when I have this up all year, I was happy with having it. And yeah, they'll just like, I'll place my vintage cassettes for the staff picks, and I thought it was really nice, so, and sturdy. And I also loved how much space, like they don't just have it so that like, you know, there's some that are box sets that won't fit in there, so I appreciated that it's a good size. This is a great transition into my thrifted items. So I did pick up a good amount of physical media at a Goodwill that opened up near me recently. They had a lot of great items, and I'm going to move through them pretty quickly since they were all from the same spot. I got Apollo 13, which my partner still hasn't seen. We have to still watch this with Tom Hanks. As I've mentioned before, I don't just want horror movies. I want family films. I want sci-fi films, thrillers, drama. And so Apollo 13, I felt would be great. We also have been watching a lot of space stuff lately. So I think I'm also in the mindset that I was like, I want more space stuff in my collection. Speaking of which, we got Men in Black. This was great. And it was a lenticular case, which was just, it was foiled. Like, this looks amazing. It was in really great condition, and I thought that that would be hilarious, and it's perfect for Halloween in my opinion. So we definitely picked up this. Scooby-Doo. We're doing plenty of Scooby-Doo VHS, and this is the Reluctant Werewolf. I already have another one that's like the Alien Invaders one, and I remember this one slightly where Shaggy's turning into this werewolf, so I thought that this would be great. And yeah, I want definitely a lot of Scooby-Doo in my collection. You pick up Jumanji, and while Jumanji may not be necessarily a Halloween film to some people, I remember it's definitely a fall film to me. One, it takes place during the fall. There's a lot. Personally, I was afraid of Jumanji. When I was really, really young and I first watched Jumanji, there are some scenes in here that freaked me out. The animals and stuff. And also, the hunter is extremely scary to this day. I get a guy with a gun who's a serial killing hunter, and the idea of him being stuck, Robin Williams' character being stuck in that, there's a lot of things about Jumanji that are scary, especially to a 6-year-old. So I definitely picked this up, and it was a Robin Williams film. And Robin Williams, for me personally, I don't know, maybe it's in the type of films that he's been in, like of course Dead Poets Society and Good Will Hunting, where I'm just like, Robin Williams is, even Mrs. Doubtfire, just feels like a fall movie type of person. For me, am I the only one who thinks that? Has Robin Williams just only been in fall films? Like that was the time when he was just like, okay, let's rack up the money. Fall. I don't know. And finally, I was crazy that I actually saw this one, and it was Ghostbusters 2. No, it is not the first one, but it is the second one, and it's still a really great box. So I did pick this up. I'm still surprised that I found this at the thrift store. I feel like Ghostbusters, you can never find any Ghostbusters anything because people are automatically trying to resell it. And so I picked it up immediately. And finally, I also got Goosebumps. Now, this is a classic Goosebumps novel. This is a classic Goosebumps novel because it has the bumps on the top. You hardly can ever find the ones with the bumps on the top anymore. Really love this one. I also saw this one recently when I was on Instagram, and they were showing all the model reference photos of like the kids who took pictures for these. So it was also fresh in my mind, this particular novel. I have to read my Goosebumps novels. I think maybe sometime during October I'll do like a 24-hour readathon thing where I knock out a bunch of like Goosebumps novels, because I've started a collection of them because I love vintage paperbacks, but I feel weird having a collection of vintage paperbacks and not having read them. And I think that these are easy to knock out. They're middle grade. Last words that she said. Those were all of my items from the thrift store and Etsy. I'm really happy with all of them. The VHS, I'm starting to wonder if I need to kind of slow down on them. The thing is that I don't know how many I'm going to need for that area to really feel like a VHS rental store. And I don't want to overbuy. So I think that's the other thing. I've just been going to the thrift store. If I find some that I like, then I pick them up. and kind of, it's like $2 a piece. So it's not really like a huge issue. But again, as I've been saying, I'd rather money go towards things I want, even if it's a small amount. That being said, these last 2 items are from miscellaneous locations, but one of them is from the Dollar Tree. These, yes, I picked them up. I left the ghost because the ghost kind of had that pointy head situation, which I'm not a fan of. But the cat was wonderful, and I did like the witch as well. They were only $1.50, so it really wasn't anything for me to pick these up. I especially love the little cat. I feel like it was very, very vintage, and it was giving Joanna Parker. These are plaster, so they're very heavy, but I'm going to say, I understand why they're $1.50. They're not the best quality. These are kind of scratched up, so I am going to have to put some acrylic paint on them. But for $1.50, I wasn't that stressed about them. And to be honest, all of them that were there were scuffed up, so I haven't seen them since, because people are buying these up like crazy, like the skeleton sign that everybody's been seeing. They're gonna go probably either in my trick-or-treat area or on my coffee table along with some of my other classic Halloween things, but they're still really cute. And the final item that I got, which I don't think is necessarily specifically Halloween, because this is going to be going out all year, is a Ben Cooper figure. As you know, I've gotten obsessed over these NECA Ben Cooper figures. Last year, I bought quite a few of them, and I've dwindled down on them. One, because I'm no longer really shopping at Target or finding them at Walmart or anything. But I did love that they came out with some very special characters and more characters of color. But I did pick up this great one. It's a werewolf one, which I love that they did a classic character with one of the dark-skinned characters. And again, I'm always talking about there's not enough werewolf paraphernalia, and so I picked up this one. I almost picked up the mutant, the Metaluna mutant, that's what it was called. I thought that outfit looked so great, but I ended up not picking it up. I think if I find the spooky monster out and about, which is kind of like a zombie character, I may get that one. But for $20, this is one thing. I love that they've kept this affordable. This was $20. And I'm very thankful for that, because everything else has gone up in price. So I picked this up to go with the rest of my collection on my bookcase, because I have these out all year. That's it for today's video, y'all. Thank y'all so much. I know that it was a long one. Like I told you, there was a good amount of stuff here. I'm hoping that any hauls that I do, I can kind of batch them a little bit so they're not so long, because I know that this is a lot to watch. But thank you if you've made it all the way to the end of this video. Please let me know down below what you've been finding this year that you've been really excited to have found while out Halloween decor hunting. I plan on maybe having a couple more hunting videos with you to go. Like I said, I still want to do a thrift video with you all, and I've not been able to get to the thrift store, and I do plan on maybe going out today to see what's out there, because I do have 1 or 2 things that I'm still looking for. But definitely there's probably going to be an eBay one coming up soon, another haul that has a lot of eBay specific things, just because of some of my gothic ideas. And I need to finish up some things that I have for my VH rental store. The collection series is still coming, so I hope that you like the first episode in that series. I have another one coming very soon that will be much smaller, I swear, because I've looked in the box already, just a peek, and there's far less things, like items in there, and they're far less smaller, so hopefully it'll be something shorter. We will see, but thank you for sticking around. Please subscribe down below if you're looking forward to any more vintage Halloween decor or decorating or crafting. Crafting videos are coming soon, y'all, and I'm really excited about that, as well as any book content, because we read plenty of horror and weird lit around here as well. Please also like this video if you like today's video, and thank y'all so much again for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.